Happy GA Recap Monday. I hope you guys are having a fantastic, magical, wonderful start to your week. I know I am, even though I'm utterly and completely and totally effing exhausted. Which is usually the story of my life, but this week I think a little more than usual just because it's kind of just one of those off weeks for me. I'm actually leaving on Friday to go visit my best friend Matt in Arkansas, and he is, as most of you guys know, one of my closest friends. He is awesome, and his fiance and I and him all have just the best time when we're together. And we haven't seen each other since like August, I think. I don't know. It's been that long. Like, we can't even remember the last time. They were in town over the summer, and it's just been too freaking long. And we are getting ready to plan our vacation to Cedar Point this summer, and so I'm really excited about that. So that means I have to work all week long, which stinks. Like, I don't get any days off this week until Friday and Saturday, which are my 2 days off. Because I have to work 40-hour weeks. Otherwise, corporate, like, will fire me. So I have to work 40 hours a week to make my full-time. And so that means that I have to work 5 days in a row. Which wouldn't be so bad except the 3 days that I worked last week. So it makes it just a very long, drawn-out, horribly long week. But in the end, it will all be worth it because I will get to see my friends and have a weekend of relaxation and drunken shenanigans that will probably end up on Periscope. Hashtag, oh God. But we are not here to talk about drunken shenanigans or long work weeks. We are here for GA Recap Monday, where I recap the newest episode of Ghost Adventures. And this week, the guys were in San Diego, California, visiting the Star of India ship. In this boat, though, something about boats just make it creepy. Maybe it's because they're on water, and water is such a major conductor when it comes to the paranormal. But you think of, like, ships and boats that are haunted. You think of, like, the Queen Mary, and you think of the Star of India, and it's just this nasty, like, this creepy aura that kind of comes over you know, a conversation when you're talking about ships. And I think it has to do with water. Water is one of those unforgiving things. It's, you know, when you drown, they say it's one of the most painful things that people have ever experienced. Is drowning is beyond painful. And so I think that there's just such history with water in general. And so, as always, I like to give a little history going into the video before I break down lockdown. The Star of India has been afloat for more than 150 years. That's old AF. That's what that is. It first set sail in 1863, transported hundreds of immigrants and workers and crew for over 21 voyages around the world. So that ship has seen some stuff. Like, it's been through the ringer and then some. Most passengers never actually met their final destination. They met their demise on the ship or off the ship or anywhere in between. It was home to suicide and tons of tragic death. Captain McBarnett actually killed himself. He slit his throat. He did it twice, as a matter of fact. He slit his throat. The doctor stitched him up. He ripped out all the stitches and he bled to death. The man really wanted to die for whatever reason. Another man got wrapped up in the chain and basically was, like, cut in half. Not on my bucket list. Not on my list of ways to die. It's just one of those places that's got, like, such tragic, crazy history. And because of the tragedy of it and because of the darkness of it, I think that is just the fueling ground. And it being on water to top it all off, I think it's just the breeding ground for paranormal activity. And this lockdown did not disappoint. Zach actually begins lockdown alone using the camera that's mounted to his chest with a digital recorder taped to him. He can't see anything. He is in total, complete pitch black darkness. Billy has done this and Jay has done this. It's never worked out for any of them. They're just, I think it adds to the level of fear and the unknown because you cannot see anything. You know, sometimes you'll have some sort of, like, night vision, but Zach didn't even have, like, the night vision to go on this time because the camera was all strapped to his chest. So he was seeing with his eyes, POV, and the camera was seeing things for us to be able to see, but he couldn't see anything. So he went into the room where Captain McBarnett actually killed himself, and within minutes he completely begins to feel like these senses of vertigo, and he begins to feel like he's being tossed around in the ship, and that is the worst feeling ever. I've been on a train. I've never been on a boat for that long of a period of time to where I was like, I mean, depending on how like dehydrated I was, because I'm usually on a boat drunk, to be honest. You know, boating, beer, it all kind of goes, margaritas, sunbathing, it all kind of goes hand in hand. So when I feel vertigo on a boat, it's usually because I'm drinking, and then that just kind of, again, goes hand in hand with it. But in this case, the boat is not moving. The boat is docked, the water is calm, they're in a bay, it's a marina, it's calm. So Zach feels though like he's being tossed and turned, and you can actually see him, I mean, unwavering on his feet. And so he asks the guys if the boat's moving at all. They say no. None of the other guys are experiencing it. And then he hears an unexplained voice that he heard with his own ears but can also be heard on audio. Followed by a little girl's voice that kind of seems to snap Zach out of a trance that this whole vertigo thing has kind of placed him in. He seems really out of it. He's just kind of in this weird place. And then he hears this little girl's voice and it kind of snaps him out of everything. And then to top it all off, he hears this doorknob turning, like the doorknob to the door that leads out of the room. He can hear it turning, and you can too on the audio. And it's very distinct that it's a doorknob turning. When that doorknob turned, though, I about flew up out this bed. I'm not even kidding. I was like looking at my doors, like I didn't know what the heck was going on. I was like, what the hell? Oh, kitty. I cannot deal with this. OMG. I flipped. I know I'm a big baby and I flip over the stupidest crap, but I flipped out. I was like, what the? Which is good because I haven't had one of those Ghost Adventures moments where I was like, for a long time, and so it was really refreshing to be able to experience that. I think that every Ghost Adventures moment, or every Ghost Adventures episode, rather, should give me an OMG moment, and this was the OMG moment of the week, which was the doorknob turning. Then he got an EVP that said, no, I just gave up. That broke my heart in pieces. It very easily could have been Captain McBurnett just saying, no, I just gave up. I just wanted to die. You know, I didn't want to be here anymore. I just wanted to die. Once he heard that, Zach goes back to Nerve Center, and once he gets back to Nerve Center, up on another part of the ship, they heard a little girl's voice, and it was the same little girl that Zach had heard in the captain's room, and so he sent Billy and Aaron to investigate. I've noticed that he's sending Billy and Aaron together a lot, probably because they both freak out the most, and so if the two of them freak out together, it's maybe not so bad. But I think that also means that they're the most vulnerable, and so they have the best ability to capture evidence, so I love it. I love Billy and Aaron anyway, and when they work together, they just kind of have this chemistry that they understand each other, and it makes for a really good investigative piece. So I really enjoy those two investigating together, and it's really exciting to see Billy and Jay get to investigate more anyway. So they go and investigate, and they use the spirit box, and they're kind of asking this little kid's spirit to play, and they're like, why don't we play hide and seek or tag? And they're like, you hear gotcha, like, I got you, tag, you're it, come find me now. So they were kind of playing with them, and they get several little broken responses, but it was all relevant to what they were doing. So after that, Billy and Zach had kind of gotten this primitive, almost like Mel meter. It was basically like this copper wire and a cork and two like metal prongs and a glass. I mean, it was like as ghetto AF as it could come. And yes, I know I'm rubbing my nose a lot. You're going to have to bear with me. It's 71 degrees here, and now my allergies are like, poof, because all of the trees are in bloom, and my animals are shedding, and I'm just like, so you're just going to have to deal with the nose itching today. Hashtag sorry, not sorry. Hashtag allergies can kiss my ass. Back on track. So they build this Ghetto AF looking Mel meter, but they do it for the purpose of it being like primitive and like, you know, time period, whatever. And so, you know, kind of like a trigger object. And it freaking works, yo. Like this, within seconds, this thing is moving and they're getting like cold pockets of air, and he's not down with like the cool stuff, like the Ovulus and all this other stuff. He's down for the freaking Ghetto AF Mel Meter with the glass jar and the cork and the wire coppery thing. And it's something that I would make drunk. Like, it would be like drunk ghost equipment building 101. Like, I would be sitting at a table with my friends and be like, hey, let's build this Ghetto AF looking Mel Meter. And we're going to use a mason jar and a cork and a piece of metal and copper, and I guarantee you it's going to attract a ghost. And by God damn it, it did. I'm not even kidding. This damn thing was like, look, I'm going to work, and I'm going to work well. The premise of it is, once the ghost is attracted to it, like swirls into the copper wire, and then it causes the metal wires inside to break apart. Within seconds, like cold air, break it apart, cold air goes away, quits breaking apart. Are you kidding me? Like, you spend thousands of dollars in equipment for like an Ovulus that can tell you everything you ever wanted to know. And I could be sitting in my house making millions off of a mason jar and some wire and a copper and a cork. Again, drunk ghost equipment building 101. That's exactly what that is. I have found my new passion. Hashtag AmazeFest. But I was like blown away. I was like, there's no way in crap this is going to work. And it worked. I was like, what the hello, kitty? I was just like, what the, speechless. Never speechless, speechless. So they use the Ghetto AF Mel Meter, that's what I'm calling it. And it works. And then just like as quick as, and they all begin to feel the vertigo, they all get this cold pockets of air, they all start feeling stuff, and then just like that, it's gone. Damn ghosts. It's like Baffly shit. It can't stay in one spot. Because it's like, oh, I'm going to mess with your little thing, and then I'm just going to go away. Ghosts have ADD. Like, I thought I had ADD. No, spirits have ADD to, like, the nth degree. After all of that excitement with the Ghetto AF Mel Meter, Aaron gets, they're investigating, Aaron starts to feel like this pressure on his chest, like he was pushed. And then his chest really begins to bother him. And so they kind of give him a break. And they send Billy in with the Ovulus 5, which is probably one of my favorite pieces because the Ovulus 5 is so, like, high-tech. Like, I love the fact that it's so incredibly high-tech. And they get the word Akasha, which is, like, the 5th element. And then they get Devil, which we all know. And Billy's like, oh, explain? Like, homie, you best explain why you be using that word. Of all the words in the entire Ovulus database that you could be using, you had to choose that one. Why did you have to choose the most evil word? Like, you could have said evil. You could have said dark, negative. No, you had to say the D word. Really? Really? Hashtag fail. And you can just, like, feel the color drain from Billy's face. Like, you can hear it in his voice. He's like, oh, explain. It felt so bad because you could just tell Billy was like, oh crap, of course it's me, doing this. And of course they never, he's like, nope, psych, I'm not going to tell you any more about it. And so they end lockdown with Zach, Aaron, and Billy in 3 separate cabins of the ship. And they all collectively feel like they should not be there. Like, everything is off. It's just a weird environment. It's just odd. It sucks. No one wants to be there. Party's over. Go home. They get the Ovulus out again. And they start getting this, like, these different responses about, like, grace and just contrition and all these weird things. And so they're like, contrition? What's contrition? Like, what is this word? And so they look it up, and it's basically like a state of not being okay, like not being in a place of rest. And so there's a prayer that goes along with this. And so Jay reads this prayer, and it's really neat how they do it, because he's reading it over a walkie, but you can hear it throughout the ship. And he's reading it to them, and immediately following that prayer, they get the words, heard justice. And they are taking that as possibly Captain McBurnett making peace with the situation of what he did, of committing suicide. That prayer kind of released him, and he was able to cross over. And in all reality, I hope that is what happened, because spirits are not meant to be stuck between realms. They're not meant to be floating in nothing and being lost and scared and alone. They are meant to be able to be at peace. And when a spirit can't do that for whatever reason, that's what causes chaos in their world. And so I hope that it did give him a chance, and they assumed that he did, because shortly after that they did see a ball of light manifest and disappear, and it was about 6 feet tall, which would have been what they believed Captain McBurnett to be. So in all reality, I hope that the prayer gave him some peace. I hope it gave him some guidance. I hope it gave him the ability to cross over, and he was able to be at rest. Overall, this was an awesome lockdown. They got some really good evidence, and they captured some really good EVPs, and they captured some really good, just, I think, like, physical evidence with the, like I said, Ghetto AF Mel Meter. As Ghetto AF as it was awesome to be able to see something like that. So I was really impressed with this episode. I really liked it. Ghost Adventures rarely disappoints me, period. And this week did not disappoint me, and it's just giving me even more and more excitement for the continuation of Season 12. But that is all I have for GA Recap Monday. I will be back on Wednesday for GA QA What Should I Do Wednesday, where I answer all of your general paranormal and Ghost Adventures related questions. So start getting those into me now. You can submit them one of two ways. You can submit them in the comments below on Facebook, or you can submit them in the comments on my YouTube channel. Which, speaking of YouTube channel, before I leave, I have to tell you and make the announcement, if you guys have missed it, I'm really excited to say that now the fan page has its own YouTube channel. For the entire past year, I've been posting all of our videos on my personal YouTube channel. I made the decision this week to actually create a YouTube channel just for the Ghost Adventures fans and paranormal group. I wanted to be able to give you guys something that was solely ours, where only our videos are there, and I thought that this was just a really great opportunity to do so, so I took it upon myself to create my own, our own channel, and so I will always submit that in the link below for you guys to subscribe to in case you have missed it, because if you subscribe to that channel, you will be the first ones to know when I post a new video, and then you don't have to miss all of the crazy shenanigans that go on behind this camera lens. Okay, thanks. So, now that you guys know about the new YouTube channel and you guys have had your daily recap, I am gonna go to bed. So, until Wednesday, stay happy, stay healthy, much love and happiness, guys. Bye!